Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Hey everybody, thanks for downloading the show, and welcome to Cookiepalooza 2018. I'll be talking to some of the people who have agreed to let me play their music on the podcast today, and it's going to be a fun show. Joining me right now is one of the greats in musical comedy in general, and just as a human being. It's the one and only Mike Phirman. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. That was a very kind intro. Thank you.
Well, the first time I heard anything from you, it was a song called Anything, which is ironic that I used anything from you, I guess.
Right.
That was on the Comedy Death Ray CD. I think that came out in like 2007. And
Yes.
for listeners who haven't heard it, it's a song about how anything is possible and ends with unless you're a girl.
That is not one that I'm. We don't play that song anymore. That's one that I'm atoning for the rest of my life. We're not going to delete it off the internet, but it's one of those like, oh man, well, all right. I mean, it's meant, it's obviously at the time, and it's meant to be so obnoxious that like it's so pretty and everything's nice about it, and you can really like it's supposed to really be that kind of like you can do anything if you believe, and then the last line is awful. So it's I probably wouldn't write that again right now. I would like to make one that you can do anything, but it would probably end. It would end much differently.
As a father of two daughters, I laughed especially hard, and that's probably a horrible thing to say. But
right. Well, if they can laugh, then that would be good. Yeah, it's.
It was a really good song though, because it was exactly as you described. It was this very positive, upbeat, happy. Well, it was a melodic song. I wouldn't say upbeat and happy, but it was a very inspirational song, full of nice imagery and everything. And then that last line, it just was great.
And I don't know if that was just me being, or us being. I mean, we didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Right. We just thought that was like an obnoxious way to end an otherwise not obnoxious song. Yeah. But now it feels like, oh, that's not, like it's a different world now. I mean, it's probably the same world back then, but I just, we were more okay with saying that. And now I feel slightly ashamed. If you can tell by my, even the word slightly doesn't fit in that sentence for me anymore. Anyway. But it was fun, and when we perform it, Chris will go out in the audience and do like just harass everybody and like walk around and just be silly to everybody, and which was kind of fun to do. Like we never just stood there and played it. He would always the show of it became like him going out and just messing with people. So,
and I guess I should mention for people out there who may not be aware, that was a band called N Phirm where you played with Chris Hardwick.
So, that's right.
Another one of my favorite songs. I believe it was Chris who was singing it. It's called The Heart, but it was in Spanish.
Yes. El Corazón.
Yeah. I love that because you're just explaining how the heart works, but it's so passionate and it sounds like this beautiful love song.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We did a lot of listening to a lot of Latino love songs and telenovela theme songs. And yeah, that was a lot of, it was fun. It was really fun to make that. I loved making the music for that. And and actually that's my favorite kind of a song to make because it's really just, if you just nail the music, then, the joke is that this thing, it's silly that this thing is singing about that. So you don't have to necessarily write clever lyrics. It's just absurd that you are doing it. So the lyrics are just, like I said, like we got a Colombian med student to translate like Wikipedia or like, the most basic Grey's Anatomy description of how the heart functions. And so I love that kind of thing where you don't have to go. One of my like toughest things, if I have to fill a song full of like 3 or 4 verses of each line needs to have a clever joke, it just takes a long time. So I love ones where it's like, oh, no, it doesn't matter what you say. The fact is like I have a song on my first solo record that is, it's called, what do you call it? Lollytown. And the joke of it is that we're at a festival. It's like, it's a like an audio kind of play. So you hear a crowd, we're at a festival, and you hear an announcer come on and be like, all right, everybody listen up. I got some bad news. Unfortunately, our last act of this festival, Rage Against the Machine, cannot be here today. And everybody, boo! Boo! They're losing their minds. And then he goes, but we got somebody to take their place. Please welcome to the stage, Lollytown. And then you hear like everybody, ah, ah, and this little voice comes on, like walks on and goes like, hey, everybody. Wow. Okay. And starts playing a guitar really simply and just does like that dumbest little song. Just like, I like unicorns and I like candy. I go to the beach and I get sandy. There's nothing more I like than my friends. I was before, whatever. He like sings this really short, dumb song. I sailed on a cloud before. Well, we can ride bikes and I'm trying to get to the end. We can ride bikes, we can figure paint, play with yarn, and cut out shapes. Anything is fine as long as it's me and my friends. Thank you. And the audience just loses their minds, like air horns, like just going crazy for him. And that was a fun kind of thing where it doesn't matter what I write. I just have to write the silliest, most simple lyrics, and I wrote them in like real time, just like it wrote them in like probably in less time than it takes to sing them.
I want that to be the show's new theme song.
Nice, go for it.
That was great.
Thanks.
One of my favorite songs by you is called "Do Just What I Say." That's from the very last songs I ever record, part 1, which you can purchase by going to MikePhirman.com. When will the very last songs I ever record, part 2, come out?
You know, Jason, they're coming out. They just keep coming out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever quantify them unless I know I'm done, and maybe I'll do like the very last songs I'll ever record and then just leave it blank. That's so sad. No, I won't do that. That's so depressing.
Is that what led to you titling it the very last songs I ever record part 1? You really thought maybe you were done?
No.
Oh.
I just thought it would be like, I've always actually wanted to make a movie, like write a movie called The Absolute Ultimate Complete Final End of the Universe and Everything in It, part 2. It just seems like there's so many stories that they're like, they make this movie and like, this is it. The stakes are so high and it's over. Sequel time. They're like, what are you doing? You wrapped everything up. I mean, honestly, Star Wars is kind of like that. You're like, anyway, the Empire's back. You're like, wait, what? Wait, that's the whole point of the Return of the Jedi. They're done. So anyway, no opinions about that. But yeah, so that was just an attempt at that of like, I'm going to do like the very final last songs ever. Part 1. But yeah, I do have a new album, that is some singles that I have released over the years, and then I just released everything in May, called Songs to Sing at Children. That is the second one.
Well, you got a song called Chicken Monkey Duck. What was your inspiration for that, or is the inspiration pretty much in the title?
That is, yeah, the inspiration is, there's no deeper meaning to it, except that it's just something that like I'll have little things that I'm kind of a fidgety, always kind of tapping on drums, like I play body drums. That is to say, I will always be kind of making some little beat, or even just in my head, like I have a thing where can you do this? Where there's like a way you can make the inside of your head or the inside of your ears have like a rumbling sound. Does that sound at all familiar?
No. Sorry.
Do this thing where I don't even know what I'm doing, but if I move like the inside of the back of my head, I can hear and I can play it like on and off. So it usually becomes like the bass drum of stuff. So if there's a clock going, I'll be playing along with that with this little.
Like pressure in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, I just did that while you were talking.
But I'm not going, like I'm not pushing hard. It's almost like moving. Boy, I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's almost like people who can make their eyes wiggle super fast. Mm-hmm. It must be like that, where you can just intensify some muscle, but clearly I'm not moving. I don't think I'm moving my brain at all. Unless I am, in which case that's pretty cool. But
I can't stop doing it now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh no. And then it just squeezes your brain out of the side, just like a frosting tube. But yeah, so Chicken Monkey Duck is just a thing that I would, when I'm like, this is for like the last 20 years or, whatever, forever, when I'm washing dishes or taking a shower or whatever, I will occasionally just be like, because they are percussive sounds, it's not even about them being, they just happen to be animals and stuff. But the percussive sound of it is just fun to freestyle and be like, duck, chicken, duck, chicken, monkey, 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 chicken, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, duck, chicken, monkey. And then I thought like, oh, okay. At one point I had that little funk jam, which is this little 1 minute funk jam that the song is, what it is. And then I was like, what to do with that? And all of a sudden it was just like, oh, why don't you finally just put the chicken, monkey, duck thing over something? And then I just freestyled over that, and that was pretty much it.
Well, there was a Super Bowl commercial that came out by Mountain Dew Kickstart.
Yep.
Called Puppy Monkey Baby.
But yep, I got a lot of, dude, they stole your idea, dude. You gotta contact Mountain Dew. And I saw it. I of course went and wait, what? And I feel like, I feel like it's, I'm not going to do anything about it. I don't think, maybe the person has heard it. I don't know. But I don't think, it didn't feel like, hey, they didn't just start saying for no good reason. Like there was we combined 3 of the cutest things ever, puppy, monkey, and baby into one thing. And then he's go punk, and then they start saying it. So in a way I was like, oh, well, that's, that makes sense. That's not, and I'm not doing that, so it's its own idea and I don't want to hire a lawyer. No, I didn't think it was a problem.
Yeah, I was just curious because I never really thought about it, and then something just hit me, and I was like, "Wow, that is pretty close." But like you said, it's kind of one of those things where it is linear thinking. It makes sense that they would put those things together. Now, if there was a funky bass to it beforehand,
yeah, if there was like that's a sound-alike. Like if it was like, oh, they literally took the elements of my thing and really reused them, and then I'd be like, hey, wait a minute. But as of now, I don't claim to own saying 3 words over and over in a different pattern. So
you don't
have at it.
Copyrighted.
Yeah, I've been what was the other one? Oh, I started to toy with a new. I still have other ones that I'll still do, like Bonobo Donkey Chimp, which was a fun one to do too. But it's I haven't done that in a while. But anyway, yeah, maybe. There's a song on my new album, which is called Cat, Cat, Frog, Frog. And it's not the same kind of super fast thing, but it's also a just kind of random saying of things that are fun to say fast or slow.
I heard Katy Perry is a big fan of yours, and you actually got to play at her birthday party once. How did that happen?
That happened. It was actually on November 11th, her birthday, of I think 2011. Is that right? 11, I think it was. What had happened was her friend, I think, heard the song at a show that they were taping. And then they played it just for fun at lunchtime. I think it was I can't remember the name of the show, Raising Hope. And then, so her friend, I guess, played it for her, and then Katy loved it. And I remember somebody tweeting me the same kind of thing as the Mountain Dew thing, where they're like, dude, I think Katy Perry just referenced you. And I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, dude, Katy Perry just tweeted about you. And I was like, wait, what? How come I didn't get it from her? And I go and look at her Twitter feed, and it just says monkey duck chicken. Just that. And I was like, I think she's referencing it. But the odds of that are very slim that she would just say that while I have a song out that is that. And I don't know that her friend played it for her. But my first thought, sadly, was like, if that is it, why couldn't you put a link to the song? There could have been 25 million people if she's like, I love this song. That would have been life-changing. But, okay, cool that you like it, I guess, if that's about me. And then the friend contacted me because I know her, and was like, hey, I was thinking it'd be kind of fun for her birthday party. Would you be my gift to her and appear? Would you show up at her party and perform the song just for fun? So I'm like, sure, of course I'll perform that for Katy Perry's birthday party. I'm going to talk about that on podcast someday. That'll be fodder forever. And actually, it's the performance of it is something I haven't told you about, because when I recorded the song, it was all just freestyle. I was just like monkey chicken, duck chicken, right? Just for fun. And so the order didn't matter. When it was done, I was like, great, song's done. Then I got the idea of it'd be kind of funny is just to make a video, just doing I'll just go grab 60 pictures of ducks, 60 pictures of chickens, 60 pictures of monkeys, and just wherever I say monkey, I'm going to drop a monkey. Wherever I say duck, and I know some of them are apes. I know. But some of them are chickens, and then some of them are ducks. And then just made that video and put it up. And it did okay. It did fine. Like some people saw it, but it was fun to have a video of it. And then I thought, hey, I could perform this live and like have the screen show the video while I sing over it. At which point I regret everything because now I have to memorize the exact order that I freestyled this in. And it's just 3 words over and over again in a specific order. But I listened to it like 200 times.
Oh my God.
And now, so that's what I performed is like I came out at her party and yeah, and just I think most of the people there were like, "What the hell is happening?" And then she was like, "Yeah!" like dancing up and down. So yeah, that was pretty fun.
I was going to jokingly ask if you memorized the song because you said you freestyled it.
Like with N Phirm, we do a song that's we made a song called Pi, which is the chorus and the bridge and everything are just the numbers of pi sung, in harmony with, chord changes and all that stuff. But that's, the lyrics are literally just 3.1415926535897932346, right? On and on. And so I memorized, Chris and I had to memorize in order to perform it live, like 180 digits of pi. Oh so same thing, just listen to it over and over and over until it becomes just muscle memory. And so it was like that. We're just like, all right, you've done this before. You got to do it again. Got to memorize the order of it. And then you hear, eventually it kind of sounds songish. Like you realize like, this one part where I go, monkey, duck, chicken, duck, monkey, duck, duck, chicken, monkey. Like it starts to have its own, like, it's not just flat, like, oh God, what's the order? Like you start to get a feel for like, chicken, monkey, chicken, monkey, monkey, chicken, monkey, chicken, monkey. And so it takes on a musical body, which is easier to memorize than just flat. Yeah.
Well, I could see somebody in the audience being like, in the recording, there were 5 ducks, and you just said it 3 times. I think Mike might be slipping.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. If you slow down the video, you can notice he says an extra duck.
One of the most impressive things that in my opinion, that I have seen you do was the video for the day. It was so well choreographed.
Nice.
How long did it take you to practice and shoot that? Because obviously you're used to it after what you just said with the last 2 songs, but man, it was just so well done. I couldn't believe it.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, it was. That was actually a thing where I was in a hotel room and I had, I was doing shows and had some time where I was like, I don't have to be anywhere until like 5 o'clock. That's the fun part of be on the road and doing tours or shows is you have all this time to like write stuff or, explore or whatever. So I was like, I wonder, and it actually came from, I wonder if I can slow down footage and then speed it up. It's pretty basic thing, but I wanted to record something really slow and then speed it up and just have the gestures be blinding fast. Mm-hmm. So I brought 2 cameras. I had 2 cameras with me, or 2 phones, and played back at quarter speed the song, and then sat there and performed it on that chair in the hotel room. And actually, it's going so slow that it wasn't that hard to remember the words because it was like you had tons of time to come up with what the next one's going to be. Because the actual recording is like beans and eggs and beans and eggs. And so I'm like going super slowly, and then play it back at normal speed with the video sped up 4 times. So somebody pointed out you never blink, which makes sense because all the blinks are done at 4 times the speed of a blink, which is 0, like you can't see it. And, but yeah, that's why like all of a sudden the gestures of like, wheels, it's like, and then back to normal. And yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. Thanks, man.
You also had another video that I really liked. It's called The One, and it has a cameo of your son in that. Has he changed your music at all?
Oh, right. Yeah. doing the Neo gag of like, he's the one. Yeah. And then it's just an old, a big blue one costume that I had around forever, intending to do that someday. And it was like literally in my closet for like 2 years. I'm like, someday I'm going to make that dumb You're Still the One song. And actually, yeah, that's Milo. And then I have another son named Eli. Milo's 8, Eli's 6. And I have tried not to be too George Lucas-y, and like, because I have kids, start doing, like making the planet of Wookiees into the planet of teddy bears, and everybody's like, no, why? So, but that said, having kids and, my wife and I are, very much sharing the child raising. It's not like, I go off and work and she does all the, stuff with them. We both have been hands-on and changing diapers the whole way through. So a lot of my time has been spent performing for my kids and making up songs for them and playing with them. And so a lot of my ideas started to be things that were kid friendly or about kids. I don't personally want to do like ABCs and like, the Wheels on the Bus and like really like kid stuff. But I was still thinking like, oh man, I do want to make something out of the things that I've joked around with them about, and other, and hopefully other adults, other parents for sure, and then other adults, if they're just weird enough, they might just enjoy them as comedy music. So that's what this album has been. The latest, the Songs to Sing at Children, has been stuff that is only here, really. Like, I only realized that that's what I want to be doing because I have kids, which ironically sucked away all my time for making the thing. So I got my direction figured out and immediately chained down to where I can't really generate music very quickly at all. But yeah, that's been a huge factor.
You've made so many songs for other people to enjoy over the years, but one of my listeners made a song just for you. You want to hear it?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Oh my. Oh, where's the kite? Oh my. Get a strike. Go to the fight. Give Jason's fan page a like. Oh my. You're so bright. Oh my. You're a man we for sure like. Oh my. Turn on the light.
You stuck the ending. That was perfect. That's fantastic. That could go over any kind of music. There's so much music that could go behind that. Thank you. That's excellent.
If you could put some music behind that and send it to me, that would be amazing.
Oh man, yeah. That's if I could land on one type of music that would do that justice, I will.
I think we could title that "Turn on the Light."
Yeah,
that was a great ending.
That's great.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show and for letting me play your music. Is there anything you want to plug before we go?
No, just I guess if you go to it sucks. My last name is spelled so goofy, Phirman, that I don't feel right saying, oh yeah, just go to MikePhirman.com, because that doesn't mean anything. They're gonna misspell it. So I just say go to chickenmonkeyduck.com, and that will take you to my website, and then boom, you can hear everything for free if you want to, because it's 2018, and if you pay, it's by choice.
Well, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to play that song, Chicken Monkey Duck by Mike, and I'll be right back.
Thanks, Jason.
Now follow along. Monkey, chicken, monkey, chicken, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, duck, monkey, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, duck, chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, duck, monkey, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, monkey, chicken, monkey, duck. Chicken, monkey, duck, chicken, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, duck. Duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, duck, chicken, duck, chicken, monkey, chicken. Duck, chicken, monkey, chicken, monkey, duck. Chicken, monkey, duck, goose.
The huge music festival Lollapalooza ended yesterday, but the Podcast Music Festival is just getting started. The very first song I ever played on the podcast was Mike O'Connell's song Totally Crazy on November 30th, 2015. He was the first musical contributor to the show. I've been wanting to have him on the podcast for a long time. He agreed to do it a few years ago, but we didn't work out a solid date. Since then, I haven't been able to find our emails, and I have no contact info for him, so seems like it's never going to happen, but you never know. Anyway, here is my favorite song by him called Insulin.
She said she was done. She said she was done with me. But the end was something I couldn't comprehend. Oh, see. Sometimes you've got to take the bull by the horns and the monkey by its tail. The giraffe by its neck, and I don't know what you'd grab on a whale. But I do know this: she'll be back to me someday, 'cause I stole her insulin. My God, yeah, I stole her insulin. My Lord, well, she'll be sorry. She said it was over when she's deep inside her diabetic coma. Now she needs me in a way that science can't understand. Please take my hand, and I'll give you all the insulin you need. Come back to me now. Come back to me now. Come back to me now. Now I've got your insulin. You need your insulin. I've got your insulin.
The next musical contributors were Chad Neat and Epic Rap Battles of History on the 1-year anniversary episode. Last November, Barnaby Griffin came on board. He's a very funny songwriter from the UK and a very busy man. Unfortunately, our schedules didn't sync up enough for him to be on today's episode, but hopefully he'll be on before the year's up. Here's my favorite song by Barnaby called The Tastiest Humble Pie.
When it comes to being humble, no one's better than me. 'Cause I'm just so wonderful at showing humility. I am the best and you all know it. I've got a trumpet but I won't blow it. Never exercise my bragging rights. Under my bushel I hide 1,000 lights. I am far too handsome to fall prey to vanity. 'Cause everybody hates a show-off, and that's why everybody loves me.
One of the musical contributors that you'll be hearing more songs from is the Andrew London Trio from New Zealand. I wanted to have Andrew on the podcast today, but our schedules didn't line up either. But he will be on in September for the We Don't Have Cookies International Podcast Month. In the meantime, here's a song by the Andrew London Trio called Enjoy Yourself or Get Out.
Get a drink, take a seat at your table. Try not to make too much noise and sit still if you're able. I'm sure we're gonna all get on fine Would have been nice if you'd have made it on time. I don't mean to bite, I'll be feeling alright. Could just get the top off this wine. Don't laugh, don't cough, only sneeze if you gotta. There'll be time to applaud at the end, and I know that you'll wanna. And if you really got to go to the John, try not to flush till I finish this song. Have fun if it kills you. Enjoy yourself or get out. You know, I don't come here just for your amusement. You should be grateful we could be bothered at all. We could easily go someplace else. You don't be sat here by yourselves. Be glad that way, let me make it quite clear. It's all for your cultural health. You're there, I'm here, I'm the artist, remember. I don't care what you want, come play what I think you should hear. I don't wanna hear your request. Just remember, I know what's best. Have fun if it kills you. Enjoy yourself or get out. Just for your amusement. Well, I played with some real big names, honey, don't you forget. You know, if I'd have just had a little more luck, but my slow-moving agent fell under a truck. I know what you're thinking, I do too much drinking, buddy. I don't give a stuff. So come in, get a drink, take a seat at your table. Try not to make too much noise, sit still if you're able. Oh, so nice we could be here for you. Just remember, whatever you do, have fun if it kills you. Enjoy yourself or get out. Only gonna tell you once, have fun if it kills you. Enjoy yourself or get out. You don't know how lucky you are. Have fun if it kills you. Enjoy yourself or get out.
I'm going to talk to Trevor Strong from the Canadian band The Arrogant Worms in a minute, but first, I want to play another song from a band that also gave permission to play their music on the show, and that's the UK's Arseful of Chips. I wanted to have them on today too, but unfortunately the band had a farewell concert and has taken down their fan page on Facebook, so I don't have any way to contact them now, but I still enjoy their music. So here's a song by them called It's Time for Arse of Chips, which is a great way to get to know them.
Let's get things straight. We're in a world full of hate. There's drought and famine, and people are dying in horrible ways.
Like AIDS.
Now's not the time to contemplate. We've all got enough on our plate. Let's put our arms in the air and cheer.
Hey!
It's time for Arseful of Chips. Well, there's Greg, he's playing bass. He's got a beard upon his face. He might look like Jesus, but ladies, he's no saint. And there's Ruff, he's playing guitar. He's drunk too much to know where we are. Before we recorded this EP, I saw him have a shot of acrylic paint. And there's Stan, our erotic dancer, our entertainment enhancer. If you came to one of our gigs, you might have seen right up his arse. Well, I suppose that leaves just me. My name is Will, now let's all shout whoopee. Let's put our arms in the air and cheer. Let's have some shots, let's have some beer. Now we've split up, don't shed a tear. It's time for Arseful of Chips.
As Cookiepalooza 2018 comes to an end, we're going to finish strong with my next guest. He's 1/3 of the band, The Arrogant Worms, and 3/3 of himself. It's the human being, Trevor Strong. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well.
Trevor, I have one thing that I would like to say to you right up front, and that is hello.
Oh, and I'll say hello to you as well.
You know what? That's a very good response.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have basic human formalities.
It is great to have you on the show because I love your music. Me personally, I know how the Arrogant Worms came about, but do you mind giving a little backstory to the listeners?
Sure, I'll try to keep a fairly short version. So we all met at university in Kingston, Ontario, and we were all in a group called the Queen's Players, which did kind of, it was a student group that did drunken cabarets. And then I had a friend who had a radio show on the campus radio station on Sundays from midnight to 2 a.m., and no one was listening. He spent most of his time reading out of Omni magazine. So he said, hey, do you and your buddies want to record some stuff for my show? And I said, yeah. And so kind of a bunch of us started going there, and lots of people were excited, but eventually it just kind of ended up being the four of us. And then, we started recording stuff and sending it off on cassettes, and then we kind of metamorphosized into this group called the Arrogant Worms.
Have you or any of the other band members ever tried your hand at stand-up or improv before that?
Oh, before that, no.
Okay.
No, I had done nothing. I think Chris was even in the group by then. He was a replacement later, but we knew him. John played a lot of trumpet and played in bands. And Mike, I think, had also just kind of played in bands. But we hadn't done any of that stuff, no.
Did you guys ever try it after the fact?
I took a couple of improv classes, and when we briefly lived in Vancouver, just like ready to meet people, but that was about it. We know a lot of the improv folks.
Mm-hmm.
We've run into a lot of them. Our kind of the improv that we do in this show is a little kind of different and doesn't actually follow the basic rules of improv. So I don't know what I'd even call it.
Because you guys come across so funny on stage. And it just seems so natural. It almost seems like you have to have come from that world to be able to riff like that between songs and just come across so well.
Yeah, well, that's just from years of performing. We also, when we started off, we did a lot of street performing. And what we learned quickly, like when you're doing songs, that might be somewhat interesting, but what people really want is a train wreck. And so if you're just blabbing back and forth and trying to get attention, and I think that's kind of why what we do isn't follow the rules of the improv world where you're supposed to accept and support and buy into other people's ideas. A lot of times what we'll do is if somebody's saying something and it obviously fails, instead of trying to build that person back up again, we'll turn on them and make sure everyone knows that what they did was a horrible idea and not funny. So that's what I think we don't, I think it's still entertaining, but it's not quite what people trained in improv would naturally do.
Well, going back to the train wreck scenario, I know you guys have been around for a while. I'm sure you have a lot of great memories, but is there any time that went so wrong? Looking back on it, it was great, if that makes sense.
Oh, looking back on it was great?
Yeah, where you're just like, oh my God.
We have one show that was horribly wrong, but looking back on it, it's still just horribly wrong. I don't know. Do you have any time that was wrong? Well, we played a couple of escalators in our time. That
really?
That's kind of ridiculous looking back. And we've occasionally been booked as children's performers, which I think is more of something horribly wrong, which is kind of amusing afterwards because you're doing all this musical satire and children just aren't understanding any of it.
I have to ask about the escalators before we get too far.
Oh, okay, sure.
I've never heard of anybody doing that before. So how did that work? Did you just go up one side while you played and then come down the other, or did you?
No, that would be way more fun. No, we had to play beside the escalator. It was some festival. Although I think we've done it more than once, but to promote the festival, they had this great idea of, well, we need to get the community to know that there's a festival in town. Where else to find the community but in the shopping mall? So we'll take these poor acts that we've, booked and make them do sets in the middle of the shopping mall, just beside where the escalator goes up and down to the food court.
Okay.
Wasn't actually a very good idea. I don't think it sold any tickets.
Hey, it's interesting, though, that's for sure. Maybe next time you can try it and just go up and down the escalator. You have a captive
Well,
audience.
I think eventually we just went for rides up and down the escalator, but we should have we should have done a couple of tunes, I think, for sure.
Well, keeping along the lines of that, you've done shows for all sizes of audiences during your time as a band, but one of the most outstanding is when you played in front of a crowd of 100,000 people. That's a massive crowd. What's the story behind that?
Yeah. Well, we got to do that a couple of times with Canada Day on Parliament Hill in Ottawa. So unfortunately, we couldn't really claim that the people were there to see us particularly, because they're going to be there no matter what. So we did that a couple of times. We got to do like half an hour in front of 100,000 people. Most of them were drunk, but it didn't really matter. It was a pretty easy gig because, if you ever wanted reassurance, all you had to do was yell out Canada.
Hey,
People would just kind of go, ah! And then they'd go back to doing whatever they were doing, which was, I guess, mainly burning in the sun. But that was a fun gig, though. It was good to do.
I bet, because like you said, the crowd is already on your side, and there's 100,000 of them. So it has to just be an amazing feeling.
Oh, yeah. So, you do come those shout-out things just, because you wanted to hear it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what this sounds if I ask 100,000 people to do something and they do it. You go, oh, that's what that sounds like. Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
And for listeners that may not be aware, everybody in the Arrogant Worms is from Canada. So you have that home field advantage, and you guys are very proud of your nationality. You have a lot of songs about Canada, so that really plays into it too.
Yes. We have a lot of, but they're all, kind of self-mocking songs, because that's what, Canadians do. But yes, it shows that you're proud enough to make fun of yourself. I think it's the key.
We Are the Beaver is one of my favorite Canadian songs that you guys have made. It's so good.
Oh yeah, that's it just shows how ridiculous Canada is that we chose a giant rodent as a national animal. But I think that's the kind of thing Canadians are proud of.
Another thing that I was really surprised about that it just doesn't happen. Well, maybe it happens more often than I know. I'm just not aware. But NASA used one of your songs called "Dangerous" to wake up astronauts on the space shuttle. How did you find out about that? Did they ask you, or?
I think we were just told, like somebody had either seen it, I'd heard about it in the news or as some little couple of line bulletin somewhere. So apparently what they did when they're doing the missions is every morning there was an official wake-up song, and each astronaut got to pick one on a rotation. And Chris Hadfield was a fan of ours, and so he picked Dangerous, Too Dangerous. And the song is all about someone wanting to do something heroic but actually being a big coward. So it's kind of funny that he would pick that as the song when he's in outer space.
As a group, the Arrogant Worms have put out 13 albums, or is it 14?
I actually don't know, because it kind of depends on how you count them, whether you decide that compilations count or not. So certainly 13 for sure.
Okay. But you've also put out your own songs too. And the amount of music that you create seems crazy, like on a Tupac level, where when you die, I think somebody is going to find out there's 72 more albums on a hard drive somewhere you haven't released yet.
Right. Yes. I'm a quantity type of person. I don't sweat the quality too much, so I can get more out.
Well, that was what I was going to say, is the quality of the songs never seems to suffer. What drives you to keep such a high level of creativity on such a regular basis?
Oh, I have no idea. I think most people who need to make stuff just need to make stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Stephen King, I don't think he needs the money anymore.
Yeah.
But yet he's cranking out, I don't know how many books a year, right? And he has been since the start. And I'm certainly, at least songs, 20 lines, and you make them rhyme and get a bit of a tune to it and you're done. So it's like nothing compared to what some of those heavy-duty writers managed to crank out. But yeah, I think it's just kind of what I do.
I was thinking about that earlier, and you can tell that you love this because you've been doing this for over 25 years and you haven't slowed down a bit.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I really admire that because, man, that's a long time to do something, like I said, that regularly and at that high of a level. It's really amazing.
Oh, thanks.
all of your solo songs also have videos attached to them, and the video quality is really good. My favorite video is for your song called You Know I'm There For You, which was done really simply. There's no special set or anything, but the expression on your face and the camera work's what made that video great.
Oh, good. I'm glad you actually watched that. That was me, and I had just gotten an iPhone and figured out that I could just hold an iPhone and sit on a spinning chair, and that could be my special effect. So that was me just spinning around with an iPhone in my hand.
Well, it went so perfectly for the song. It was the best of both worlds there.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I want to thank you for letting me play your music as well as the Worms on the show. Is there anything that you would like to promote before you go?
No, well, the Worms are still cranking out a song a month, and we've got a Patreon type of thing. So if anyone wants to actually, support us continuing our quest for quantity, you can just, become one of our noble patrons.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for being on the show. I'm going to play the song Dangerous that was played on the space shuttle, and I'll be back.
I think of what I'd do to keep you safe and sound. I would climb the highest mountain, I would swim the widest sea, I'd wrestle a gorilla to the ground. I would fend off a dozen charging rhinos, I would capture a swarm of killer bees. I would fight a fiery dragon with a wooden sword if I didn't know what this could do to me, 'cause it's too dangerous. I'd really like to do it, but I might get hurt. It's dangerous. I don't feel like bleeding on my brand new shirt. You might call me cowardly and say I'm full of fright. You might call me yellow, and baby, you'd be right. So I'd surf across volcanoes full of lava. I'd even grab a tiger by the tail. I would make fun of a boxing champion's mother, but my courage and my bowels both would fail. I would fight off a bunch of angry Cossacks. I would stop 1,000 bullets with my hand. I would laugh as my leg was amputated. But baby, I'm not that kind of man, 'cause it's too dangerous. I use big words, but I never do the deed. It's dangerous. I think like a baby if I see somebody bleed. I haven't got a backbone, I'm as timid as a mouse. I could find a cure for this, but I can't leave the house, 'cause it's dangerous, too dangerous, too dangerous.
That's it for the Podcast Music Festival Cookiepalooza 2018. I'm really happy to have all those people as part of the podcast, and I'm especially proud to have music from the US, the UK, Canada, and New Zealand. Just more proof that We Don't Have Cookies is one of the most global indie podcasts out there. Speaking of global, most of you have probably seen the viral video of the man who made a beer run to a convenience store while holding an alligator and running around the store with it. If you haven't, you can see the video right now at WeDon'tHaveCookies.com, and I'll have it up on the Facebook page tomorrow just to make sure everybody hears this first. The man in that video was pretty drunk and was just trying to have fun, hopefully. His name is Robbie Stratton, and he will be on the podcast next week to talk all about it. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure who else will be on next week's episode. I had to rearrange a lot of things to fit guest schedules, so I guess we'll all find out together. I had a lot of fun putting together today's episode. I hope you had fun listening to it. If you did, please tell your friends about the podcast, share it on social media, and if you have time, leave a review wherever you're listening to this. Like I mentioned earlier, this is an indie podcast. I don't have money to advertise or anything like that, so the only way the show can reach more people is with your help, and I'd really appreciate it. That's it for today's episode. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you next time.
That happened.